thank you all for coming. And thanks to Tom Warren, the Amarillo Pioneer, for hosting this. My name is Greg Sagan. I'm a Democrat running for Texas District 13, Congressional seat. I am a product of Texas schools out of Amarillo. I'm a graduate of Tascosa High School. I went to Amarillo College. Got my bachelor's degree in political science from West Texas. And I have an MBA in organizational behavior from the University of Colorado, and I also did 2 years in a doctoral program at the University of Texas studying industrial relations and labor economics and statistics. I'm a service member, Vietnam veteran, ex-Navy officer. My father was in the 14th Air Force in China during the Second World War. I have a grandfather who was in France during the First World War. So I come from a family of service mentality. And what I've noticed in this race and what I've noticed in traveling around this district is that the overriding umbrella issue for all of us is economics. Wall Street is doing fine, but when we go out and talk to people in this district, what we find out is that not everybody is sharing in that. People in this district are concerned. And because they are independent, and because they are self-reliant, and because they're careful with money, they don't say anything about this. And we need to fix that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gaswood. I'm sorry, Mr. Trujillo.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. Thank you for waiting so long to see us speak. My name is Gus Trujillo, and I am running for Congress because I am a passionate leader who wants to help our community. This district deserves a leader who will effectively represent them in Washington and not any private interests or interests of their own. Right now, we're going through a crisis in America. Our middle class is shrinking. Our public education system is not adequate enough for our students or our future. And healthcare costs, this is all happening while our healthcare costs are soaring out of control for farmers, small business owners, and every other American. So I hope to represent you, and thank you very much for your time.
All right, sir. Mr. Gaswood.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Timothy Gasaway. I'm running for Congress, District 13. I'd like to say thank you to the Pioneer American Legion. And I want to, real quickly, I saw Louis Frazier, one of the commanders, Commander 61. He was a great guy. Anyway, I am excited about running for Congress because I've got the tools to do this job correctly. I'll represent everyone in District 13 to the best of my ability. My background is IT. I've solved a lot of problems all around the world. So District 13 is kind of small. But I'm willing to come and work hard for all of you guys, no matter Republican, Democrat, Independent. It's about Texas 13 and about America. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Westbrook, tell us about yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the Pioneer, American Legion, all of you for being here tonight. It's my privilege to stand before you. I'm going to just tell you briefly why I'm here, and I'll tell you who I am when we're done. The reason that I'm here is because I was sitting in my recliner watching what's going on in Washington, watching what's going on in Austin. I first ran against Kel Seliger. I did pretty well, except all of you with red hats, y'all pulled the lever for all red, and I didn't have much of a chance. I'd ask you not to do that this time. And think about the person. As I said, I'll tell you more about that later. But I was watching what was going on in our country and in our state, and I wasn't happy about it. And I griped and complained, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to sit in here in my recliner and gripe and complain. I'm either going to put up or shut up. I'm from West Texas, and that's the way we do things. And I'm willing to be there for you. My name is Jack Westbrook, and I'm a Libertarian candidate for Congress.
Okay, gentlemen. First question by raising your right hand, please. Did you vote in the 13th District of Texas in 2018? Okay, so no newcomers. Thank you. If you were to win, would you join the House Freedom Caucus tell us why, or why not?
No. I don't like cliques.
I'm sorry, so the audience said they couldn't understand you. What did you say?
I said, no, I don't like cliques. I don't join those kinds of organizations with that kind of a limited view of issues and of people and of solutions. No, I would do that.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Trujillo.
I hate to say that I wouldn't. I do like to keep an open mind. However, I do want to make sure that people understand that that doesn't mean I'll just sway wherever the popular vote is. I'm going to do what's best for our district first. I don't want to go in there as a Democrat and just be all gung-ho on Democrat things, because there are some things that we believe here, like Texas Democrats, we believe on the right side as well. So I don't like to rule it out. However, I would say no at this time, but like I said, I don't want to rule it out.
My answer would be no, because I'm a candidate who doesn't believe in being preconditioned. So many things that we're faced with, people are really trying to precondition you into a corner, and I just can't go there. Because there's different values, different feelings, different solutions to everything that's going on in District 13. The farmers, the ranchers, they all have different problems. And I've got to work across the aisle with everybody, Republican, Democrat, Independent. So without knowing the specifics, I would absolutely say no.
Mr. Westbrook, you also would not go with the block, or would you?
As a libertarian, one of the reasons I'm running as a libertarian is because I'm tired of the duopoly in Washington, and everybody's split the way they're split. I'm an independent guy, and I do what I think is moral and right, and stands up for my God. And so I don't think that I could do that, because I'd have to put all my eggs in one basket, and I'm not okay with that.
Mr. Westbrook, go ahead and keep that mic if you would, please. Let's start at your end. And tell the audience about your position on term limits.
My position on term limits is if you've been in office for more than 12 years, you shouldn't be there anymore. That's pretty plain and simple. The problem that we have in Washington is that we have people that say, well, I'm for term limits, and then they go to Washington and they don't keep their word. Happened right here in this district. And so I'll just give you my word that I will not be in office for more than 12 years, and I won't vote for anybody who has been.
I would not support term limits. Oh, wait a minute, let me see. No, I want to support term limits, I'm sorry. I was thinking about that wrongly. I'll be 60 years old this year, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to spend my 70s representing the district. So a couple of good years, a couple of good terms should be sufficient for anyone.
I would say that I support term limits. However, I would like them to be across the board with other members of Congress as well, because one of the things that I did in 2013, I was an intern for Congressman Thornberry, the man that we are all looking to replace today. So I understand how he ended up getting a lot of seniority, a lot of power in Congress, and that was because he did not have a term limit. Now, I'm just not saying that somebody should be in there over 10, 20 years. I don't see myself being there for, more than 2 terms or something. But I think that the voters are the first ones to establish those term limits with their vote. And I just know that all the good things that Thornberry did, because he did do good things, I know that's coming from a Democrat, but he did do a lot of good things. There's some things I did not agree on. However, he was able to do that because he did not have a term limit. But again, the whole House should have term limits, not just ours. Otherwise, we are shooting ourselves in our foot.
The term limit debate is kind of seductive. But there are 2 problems with just implementing term limits, especially in Congress. And the first one is that committee assignments are typically made on the basis of both which party is in the majority and how long you've been serving in that chamber. arbitrary term limit, we're going to be cutting off these committee assignments, especially at the chairman level, of people who really know what they're talking about. Now, the system we have is not perfect. I'll be the first to admit that. But we still need some second mechanism in there besides term limits to make sure that Congress can function. And the other problem with term limits is that this is one of the world's most sophisticated political and economic nations, and we really ought to do better than to turn this over to the hands of amateurs.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Trujillo, let's start with you on this one. Give us your thoughts on the problems and cures that you've got in mind for immigration.
You know, I should start off with my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather was a bracero, and those are seasonal workers that come into the United States and they help our economy. I think that they are essential. We do need immigrants in certain areas to help boost our economy, even if they are seasonal. However, you know, there are many people that are now going to our borders trying to get into this country, and they're seeking asylum from South America. You know, South America is in turmoil, and I'm actually more in favor of investing more in foreign policy down there, because it's going to be way cheaper to invest down there and correct those systems that are broken so that they don't continue to come up here. We're already seeing that with Mexico. Mexico's economy is improving, so we're actually having less Mexicans coming to the United States because they are staying in Mexico. So I know that the border wall is a huge issue. There are certain areas that we need a border wall. However, we don't need it completely, permanently across the whole border. I don't support the government coming in and taking farmers' land from them and you know, just ruining the natural migrations that are going to benefit us mutually with us and Mexico. So there has to be a system in place. Our immigration needs to be reformed and a process for legal immigration, but people do have to wait in line for that.
Our visa program is broken. We do a lot of good work with guest workers. We need to change and support our H-1 visa. We also need to create a new level of visa, and that would be for construction workers. Construction workers, we don't need them here for just six months. Most construction workers are working on large jobs that take longer than a year, and so we need to fix it. There are a lot of high-tech guys that are sitting waiting. There's a lot of people that want to be American citizens, and I think they should be given an opportunity. I also think we should close down the asylum problem that we have today. If they are truly asylum seekers, treat them that way.
Mr. Westbrook, how did you solve the immigration problems as you see them?
First of all, let me say that Jackie Kingston from News Channel 4 interviewed me one time, and she said, Mr. Westbrook has an impressive resume. That was a nice way of her saying I've done a lot of stuff. One of those happens to be being an immigration officer, an adjudicator of those forms that you mentioned about how you get into this country. I can guarantee you that he's right. The system is broken. It is messed up. The reason that there are people who come into this country illegally is because they can't get here legally. The price to get in this country is thousands of dollars. And if you come in here with nothing, it's super difficult. But if you have spent that money, and if you waited 3 years to get that, it's not fair for those who are not here legally. So there's a quagmire, if you will, in the whole system. It needs to, the law, that book is about this thick. It needs to be rewritten.
Personally, I don't think we're going to solve this issue by looking at incremental improvements and things like various visa programs. I think what we need is an understanding of how we view immigrants and what our vision of an immigrant community is really like. And it's the experience that I've had with people coming into this country as immigrants is that they want to be here, they want to contribute, they want to raise their families, and they want a nice place to work. And we tend to forget the fact that when they do come into this country, they are not just people who take resources, they are also people who contribute things. They are a market. They buy the things that we produce. They are a vital part of our economy, and we should treat them that way. But we need to make the decision about really what kinds of immigrants are we seeking, and then what kinds do we really want to keep out. Let's make our policy on that basis.
All right, gentlemen, got another question from the audience we need to get to. And let's go to Mr. Sagan, start with Mr. Sagan on this one. What new ideas can you bring to this audience, and what you would take to Washington regarding our budget and deficit problems?
I don't know if you all saw this today. I just noticed this, that NBC reported that for the first time in history, America's debt surpassed $21 trillion. The chairman of the Federal Reserve just came out and said we can't keep running trillion-dollar deficits. Those two things make a lot of sense to me. We should do something about that, and I think one of the first things we should do is, you know, when Amazon, and they did this about a year and a half ago in their financial results, they said that we had made profits of $112 billion, and they got a tax refund. If you are an individual or corporation and you are succeeding wildly with the opportunities that America offers, then by heaven you should pay your weight. And so let's do that first. Let's make sure that if you're assessed a tax, no matter what level of income you're at, you pay it. And let's make the wealthiest people in the corporations in America do what the rest of us do.
Mr. Trio.
Our deficit is getting out of control. We are eventually going to have to pay up on that. However, there's many ways we can do that, and I just hope it does not get to the point where we have to sell off, let's say if it's ridiculous, and we have to sell off Florida. I think the majority of us in here like Florida. I would say so. But we definitely have to get it under control, but I do support more closing of tax loopholes for corporate interests. I'm a firm believer in the middle class. The middle class needs to grow. It's shrinking now, and pensions need to come back, and just investing in our middle class, I think, will fix the problem. The thing is, today, we are having so many policies that are going towards the top percentage of income earners in this country, and we need to invest in the middle class because it built this country in 2 world wars, and we have been strong for this whole time, and now it is going back to shrinking, and I think that we just need to invest in our middle class, and I know the problem will be solved.
Okay, I would start off by rolling back the 2% tax cut that was given by President Trump. And I'd also continue to stimulate the economy. We have a great opportunity to continue to have a great economy. Because why? Because our infrastructure is falling apart. We need to invest heavily into sites like east of Childress. There's a solar farm. It's getting bigger and bigger every day from what I can tell. Every time I drive by it, it's much bigger. Wind farms, we're gonna go to a green economy, and we need to get after it, because guess what? We're behind. As Americans, we are behind. And we need to fix that problem ASAP.
To pretend to you that I can answer this question in 1 minute or whatever the time is absurd. It's complicated, it's difficult. In the 70s, we had a maximum tax rate of 90%. Did you know that? If you pull out the dollar bill from your pocket, your wallet or your purse, do you know what that's backed by? It's not backed by anything except America's hard work. That's all it's backed by. So it's a really difficult problem. If you start taxing the upper 1%, you know what they're going to do? They're going to move to France. It's a difficult problem, and it's going to take a lot of work to figure out how to fix it.
Mr. Gasaway, let's end this part of the questions with you. You've got a minute. Tell this group of folks why they need to consider you for the job.
Well, I'll start off saying this. Like I said, a little bit more about me. A minute is not enough time. I've traveled extensively, I've worked extensively around the world. I've had to solve huge problems before with diverse people from all around the world. I've spent time in China, Japan, India, France, like I said, South America, Mexico, just Canada, just all over. We can do this, but we have to go into it with an open mind. Someone who's, like I said, not preconditioned to not solve the problems. You got to pull issues out and you got to look at them one at a time to solve them. You can't just say, I'm not going to, because you won't. Best investment that was made in me several years ago, we were put into a class of teaming. I learned how to team and how to work with people. I can work with people across all aisles, across all places. Please look at our website, electtimothygasaway.com, for more information. Thank you.
I have a question before my time starts. Is this our final summation?
This is it.
Thank you. Why do I want you to vote for me? Number one, I'm a Christian man. I'm a minister of the Word of God, and I'll do what's right, and I'll do what's ethical. I'm, secondly, a West Texan. I'm from here. My uncle's farmed up in Dumas, in Moore County, in Hartley County. I've worked on irrigation wells in Delhart from when a young child. I've hoed cotton down in Lubbock. I've rode horses. I've preached in Quanah. I'm from here, and I will do what's best for you. I ask you tonight, come November, for your vote for Jack Westbrook for Congress.
I was born and raised in Amarillo, Texas, and I enjoy this area. I love this area, and I want to be a representative who will not only help our people, but who will encourage people to come here and offer us better opportunities. We have the talent, we have even the space, we have so much to offer, and we are getting ignored versus metropolitan areas that keep getting all these benefits, all this population. I know that we can be a great area, and I want to make more opportunities for people like my friends. Most of my friends have moved on to Austin and Dallas and bigger areas, and I want to bring bigger, better opportunities here, and I think it takes a young person to bring in new ideas, fresh ideas, and who will keep an open mind, because I am running as a Democrat, but I have Republican friends, and I agree with them on certain things, and I also agree on Democrats with other things. I think we need to take the best of both worlds and achieve many things for this area, and especially with the noise in Washington, if we want to have somebody go up there and make an impact, they have to not add to that noise. Thank you.
There are probably a couple of things that I can offer to the people of this district. First one is that I have traveled already to all 40 counties, and I have talked with people in every one of those counties and found out what's on their mind. And so I have a fairly good idea of what's chafing people in this district. And the second thing is that I have an affinity for the people of this district. I have learned a lot from the Texans that I've met, and I consider myself to be, if not a native, certainly very close to one. And I think it would be a great privilege to help the people of this district achieve the same sort of security and success and the same kind of family atmosphere and security and safety that they grew up in here, and make that what District 13 is really all about. And I think if we can do that together, we can show the state and the nation a different way of working together to solve our problems. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out. Folks, this game's got to